Who is it? Who is it?
Calcraft.
Okay.
Still connecting to audio.
Oh yeah, that's me. Yeah.
Yeah, we start.
Ready to go. Okay, it's all both being very polite. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another session of meditation. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about stress, which tends to really beat us around a little bit. And we have Bara with us, and Vipin, Chaitanya, and John in the audience. So it is live on YouTube, Zoom, and also we are got face-to-face people sitting here with us. And seeing as we're time bound, I shall request Vara to talk to us a little bit about the stress and Sahaja Yoga.
Thanks, Gulshan. Yeah, so let's go through this bit of a slideshow, I'd call it. We'll get to that later. So we know enough that when you are overthinking and you are a little bit overambitious, it causes stress. That's not a new thing. We all know that. And then it causes disease. And the disease could be minor, could be major. But then that's just a symptom. So the symptom is stress, and it is caused by lifestyle factors and usually we got the media stuff trying to tell us how to be. So let's say, I remember reading this article when a CEO was saying that, it's a 5-minute breakfast and a 3-minute ride to the work and how efficient this person is and so on. And then we buy those what do we call them? Platitudes, I think. And then that's one side. And the other thing is we get influenced by the narrative in the media, newspapers here and there. I remember someone telling me that a real estate agent, not a friend, nobody wants to be friends with those guys, I guess. But so the real estate agent tells to this friend of mine that my ambition is to sell every house 4 times this year in this area. So then, they also prop up this, what's your property like and so on. So it sort of revs you up into that zone. And then there is this whole, another cohort of people who are selling solutions to manage stress. It could be like adding fuel to the fire. They will say, you should join a golf club or something. And then you join that, and then you're like, golf club is a bit expensive, and people who come there are a little bit top shots. So you need to start behaving like them, as if you know what you're talking about. And then that builds up something. But all of these are actually making the symptoms worse. So if you think about what is the cause, so where is this whole thing coming from? Think about that for a minute. Where is the stress coming from? And is there anything that we can know in our lives where it points us to the root cause? Just think about that for a minute. Can we find the solution to becoming stressful by looking at external factors? It's easy to say that, my boss is a pain. That's when I'm getting stressful. Or my partner or wife or husband is a pain. That's when I'm getting stressful. That's the easy way out. Most of us do that. The problem, we almost in the modern society, you're not allowed to go into the root cause. So you're supposed to be going in circles around the same thing. You go to a doctor and the doctor will say something, and then you might take a medicine. That medicine might help you or make it even worse. To solve the problem of the side effect of that medicine, you take another medicine and you go into this circle. And I feel that's one of the places where Sahaja Yoga can give a solution to finding the root of where the problem is. And for that, this center number 2 is very important, because that is the center that is giving us, let me recollect, so it is the center that takes energy from the food that we eat, supplies it to the brain, so we start doing things. Now, when the society is giving us all these ideas of that, example I gave about CEO eating their breakfast in 5 minutes and doing this job and that job. So it's like you run out of gas, and you're trying to do many things. Just imagine that if a gas cylinder is supposed to last for a month, if you put the stove on high, it won't last for a month. It'll probably finish in 15 days. And you get, it's finished. Well, it was supposed to finish. It did its job, And if you think that gas cylinder as your system, we run out of gas and we find all these band-aids, So first thing what we do is we cut our sleep. And naturally, if you feel that, all traditionally, over the wisdom of thousands of years, we've been told that you need certain amount of sleep. And even if you're not told, you realize that I'm cranky today, it's probably because I didn't sleep well and so on. But no, we don't listen to those things. What we listen to is, after a lot of damage is being done, 10 years later, 20 years later, some researcher comes and says, sleep is important. And you're like, oh, wow, sleep is important. Oh, yeah, sleep is important because 3 people wrote a PhD on it. Then when you think about it, your grandma probably told you to sleep early and wake up early. We just don't remember that grandma has sense. We always go back to these things. But then now the society is that, you don't have grandmas anymore because you don't live together and so on. So the only solution then is to go into the roots, and that one of the roots is this subtle system chart. So we have a system that is very well designed, and it will tell you that you're in balance or out of balance. And when you're out of balance, that center number 2 will explain you that you're out of balance. All you need to do then is get your self-realization. In a video we'll play very soon, Srimati will explain that process. So when you get your self-realization and you're meditating, you will quite literally feel that your energy center number 2, which is the one that is giving you ideas, energy, planning, is being overworked. And how do you know? Is that you'll know by your thumb getting a little uncomfortable. Uncomfortable meaning it could be hot, it could be prickly, it could be sometimes painful. But then how do we get there? We get there by first accepting that we are not in control. It's absolutely another divine energy that is all pervading, that is in control. So when we start to say that we are not in control, then I think that already releases a lot of stress. So we are run by a different power, which is way more powerful than we can imagine. So with that, let's listen to Srimati's speech.
Can you disable the YouTube chat?
While we are waiting for Vara to get the speech on, I just request everyone to take your shoes off if you can. You can sit where you're comfortable. It doesn't have to be any particular place, your favorite chair or whatever is comfortable, just would be good to take your shoes off, please. So we'll just move on to realization after that. So good to have the shoes taken off. I notice everyone here has got the shoes off, so good job.
See, sickness comes to you, as I told you, through our centers getting exhausted. As this is one center, all right, on the left side, left sympathetic, the right sympathetic. And they join together, this is the center now. So we are using the energy of the center that is limited for our purpose, anything. Supposing, I'll give an example of a very good example of one Swadhisthana Chakra. Is the center, in the second center, which looks after the aortic plexus in the medical terminology. But it's not complete, I mean, it's one of the parts. Now, the work of the Swadhisthana Chakra, according to Sahaja Yoga, which has worked, of course, wonders with this theory, that it gives energy for the replacement of the brain cells. Because we never think about it. We are using the brain all the time. We don't think how it is replaced. Even in the medical science, they don't think about it. So, one of the works it has got. It moves here. And also it has to look after your liver. It has to look after your pancreas, it has to look after spleen, it has to look after your kidneys, it has to also look after the lower part of your large intestines. All right? Now, but all the time a person is thinking. These days everybody thinks too much and very futuristic. As a result, it cannot pay attention to all other things. So what happens? The first thing is affected is the liver. Now, liver gets all the heat from the whole body and eliminates it. It's poison from the body, you can say, eliminates it into the blood circulation. It goes into the blood. Now, when, you see, liver is not attended to or doesn't get sufficient energy, it starts working very hard. So it becomes overactive liver and this heat cannot be removed. So the heat starts rising upward and downwards. As a result, your the lungs are made of, as you know, they are made like a sponge. So it becomes coagulated and you develop asthma. We cure asthma through liver, curable. Then it descends down. When it descends down, it affects your kidneys. By that you get high blood pressure. Also, the another thing you get is constipation. Then your pancreas is neglected. When pancreas is neglected, you get diabetes. Only the people who are thinking, sitting, planning for future get diabetes, never a villager. In India, if we go to a village, they'll say, you have to put sugar as much that the spoon must stand at right angles. They take so much sugar. Nobody gets diabetes because they earn in the morning, nicely go home and sleep off. Here we think and think and think of the future. So the neglect of the pancreas gives you diabetes. Now we have many people who have cured of diabetes also. Then the third one is the worst, is the spleen. That the spleen is like a, we say rhythm, gives the rhythm. It's a speedometer in us. And supposing you are eating the food and suddenly you have to run, then you get a pain because it has to produce red blood corpuscles. But if you are always in an emergency in modern times as you are, first of all you read the newspaper, you are under shock. Because newspaper must shock you. So then another shock, then another shock. Then in the traffic, you get a shock. So this poor spleen doesn't know how to behave in this crazy world. And it becomes very crazy and vulnerable. And with the slightest shock, it can get blood cancer. I must tell you that we have cured really blood cancer. Absolutely cured, completely cured, without any medicine or anything. Absolutely cured. We have certificates and everything about them. And surprisingly, all of them were architects. This is one. Then another thing, as I told you, it affects the kidneys and it affects also the lower intestines. So only one center, if you use it too much for one purpose, can give you all these troubles. And ultimately the heat might rise to your heart and you might have a massive heart attack. Especially if young people, if they are drinking too much, if they are playing tennis or of a very, any game which is like football or tennis, drinking too much and thinking too much, they might get a massive heart attack. And die very young, at a very young age, and it's absolutely fatal. If you get this attack at a young age, it's fatal. You cannot save them. The other way around, if you have inactive organs also, you can have inactive, also due to that also you get troubles. So when you treat somebody on its roots, it's very easy to solve the problem. See, supposing you have to treat a tree and you start treating all the leaves, it's very difficult. But if you can go to the roots, it's so easy, simple.
Thank you, Vara. That was really good. And will you take us through the realization now?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're just about to get our realization. This was started by Srimati Ji in 1970, the lady in the picture, and she will take us through the process. And for those of us who have had our realization, it's good to strengthen our left side and our qualities on the left side. So we'll go through that now, if you're ready.
So now you have to put both your hands towards me, like this, towards me. As I told you that you feel it on your fingertips. So what do you feel is the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. Sometimes you feel hot. I'll tell you why. But you will feel that, and also you'll feel the cool breeze coming out of your fontanelle bone area, which is a soft bone, which was a soft bone in your childhood. So, put both the hands towards me like this. Yeah. Now, please put the right hand towards me, close your eyes, you can take out your spectacles if you like, and put the left hand on top of your fontanelle bone area, not touching the head, away from it. Now, please put the right hand towards me. And feel if there is any cool or hot breeze-like vibrations coming out of your head. Now, please take your left hand towards me like this, place it like this towards me, and put your right hand on top of the fontanelle bone area, above. Now, some people get it far, some people get it close. So just move your hand and see. If it is hot, that means you have not either forgiven yourself or forgiven others. So now you do it. Please forgive. Forgive yourself and forgive others. Please, please. This heat will go away. But if it is hot coming also, doesn't matter. It will cool down after some time. Now again, once again, last. Please put your right hand towards me and left hand on top of the fontanelle bone. Please put down your head. Put down your head. Then you can see. It works better. Don't think, don't think. Now, please put both the hands towards me like this. And don't think. Watch me. Don't think. It is not mesmerism because I've closed my eyes, all right? Now, please open your eyes. And now, if there's cool breeze coming from down below, then lift it up and put it on top like that. Now, again, put both your hands towards me like this. Don't doubt it. Please don't doubt. Now, raise both your hands towards the sky like this and push back your head. Here you have to ask one of the three questions, 3 times, one of them only 3 times. You can call me Sri Mataji or you can call me Mother. In your heart, please ask, Mother, is this the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost? Push back your head. Another question is, Mother, is this the all-pervading power of divine love? Ask genuinely, with a genuine heart. Third question is, Mother, is this the Parama Chaitanya? Ask any one of these questions 3 times in your heart. Now, please bring down it. Now put your both hands towards me and don't think. All those who have felt cool breeze on the fingertips or hot breeze on the fingertips or on the palm or out of the fontanelle bone area, please raise both your hands. That's it. May God bless you all. The whole of Berkeley. God bless
you. Thank you, Vara. And now, just for a moment to pause and think about how effortless and easy it was to get self-realization. Few minutes, few questions and affirmations, whereas in the past, many years ago, people have had to give up their families, go and sit in Himalayas in the cold and work on each chakra individually. And if they were lucky to be accepted by a special teacher, they could get this. And it took a lot of hard work and pain. And here we are, so easily be able to receive this. And this is all because Srimati wanted it to be easy. That was one of the things that was very important to her, that it be easy, it be accessible. And yes, she does. It's always free. She wanted it to be given to us free because this is something we are born with and we should get it. Just because it's easy, let's always keep in mind that it is very precious And now it's up to us to work on it and strengthen our Kundalini. So the Kundalini is a triangular bone that lives at the base of our spine. That's our mothering energy. And we're all born with this. And Srimati allowed that Kundalini to be awakened so easily and effortlessly. And now it's up to us to strengthen that Kundalini within us. And as the Kundalini rises, and as Vara was talking to us initially, we feel either of our disturbances or weakness on our chakras, which are the subtle systems within us, on our fingertips, because each of the chakras correspond to our fingertips. So today, Vara talked a little bit about the thumb, which is the Swadhisthana chakra, to do with creativity, thinking, planning, and Canberra being a land state of a lot of public services, a lot of thinking that goes on. So we tend to feel quite a bit on our thumb. But we'll just move on to the next thing, which is to learn how to strengthen this within us. So we don't have to go through that awakening of Kundalini and working on our chakras. What we will do is now very easily do a little exercise, and that's the only exercise one does before and after. So if you follow me, left hand comes in front at the base of the spine. And as it rises slowly, we rotate the right hand in a clockwise direction. So the right hand goes out, come in, and out, and come in. And as the left hand comes up, you watch your left hand, the palm, bring it up to the top of your head, tip your head up, and we tie a knot. And what we're doing is raising our Kundalini, as easy as that. So the attention is important. What you're doing matters. Watching your hand, bring it up, and we tie 2 knots. And for the 3rd time, we'll do it 3 times. Bring it up again, nice and slow, to the top of your head, and we tie 3 knots. And the reason why we do it 3 times is because we have 3 channels within us, the left, the right, and the center. The left is to do with the past, our empathy, our thinking. It's the moon side, it's the gentle side. The right side, which runs along right side, of course, is to do with organizing, thinking, planning, and the center is to do with being in balance, right in the middle. We're not too much to the left or the right. And the next is raising and placing ourselves in a bandhan, which is again with the right hand, starting from the left side, over to the top of your head, bring it down to the right and back. That's 1. And we do that 7 times. And this is done for the 7 chakras on our subtle system. It's good to bring the hand right to the top of your head, so you're covering all the chakras. So I have to follow Vara because I've lost count. So
the last one.
Okay. So this is the exercise that one does before and then after. And to clear ourselves, our internal system is very easy. It's a bit like brushing your teeth. We do that every day, and we clean our teeth every day, and yet we just have to clean our teeth because they need to be cleaned. So similarly with our subtle system, it doesn't take any more than 10 minutes, but it's just good to cleanse the state of the chakras that we may have picked up things during our time at work or dealing with people, colleagues, or whatever is within us. If there's a weakness, it's good to clear it. So hands in our lap. We, of course, do this with our shoes off. And if you can get a photo of Srimati, a postcard, it should be available, or you can message us and we'll send it to you. So hands in your lap, palms up. And to clear the left side, you just drop the right hand towards the earth. And here we bring our attention inside. And you ask the mothering energy, the Kundalini within you, to please take away all the darkness, all the heaviness, all my negative habits that I have picked up, all my lethargy from the left side. Mother Kundalini, please remove all those negative habits and energies from the left side, and please let them be released into the earth through the right hand. Mother Kundalini, please establish the positive qualities of the left side within me, which are love, empathy, caring, nurturing, and the desire to do the right thing by our innocence, the desire to do the right thing by our spirit, and the desire to do the right thing by our ascent. And while we do that, we take our attention right to the top of the head. So we're watching that space on top of our head. And it doesn't need to be very long, but it does need to be done without thinking, without rushing around. So you just find yourself a quiet spot and you do this. And you let it happen. Mother Kundalini, please take away all the heaviness, all the negative energy from the left side into the earth through the right hand. Please strengthen and replenish my left side. And you may notice a little bit of coolness in your left hand. And when you start to feel that, we just swap hands. So right hand comes up in our lap, and we lift our left hand from the elbow up. This is to clear the right side. So whichever side needs to be cleared stays in our lap, hand, palm open. And again, the attention always stays on top of your head, or you can be watching Srimati's photo, which is just right here. If you can see that, that's pretty good. If you have trouble closing your eyes, watch Srimati's photo, please. And here we ask a mothering energy, Mother Kundalini, please take away all the excessive heat, all my worries, all my excessive thoughts, all my rushing around from the right side into the air through the left hand. Mother Kundalini, please let me feel the peace within me. Mother Kundalini, please establish the calmness within me. Mother Kundalini, please cool down my liver so my attention calms down. And while we do this, our attention is on top of our head. And now we bring our left hand back onto our lap. And here, please ask your Kundalini, your special mother who is waiting to help you, love you, and look after you, to please let me be in balance. Mother Kundalini, please rise. Mother Kundalini, please rise. And another easier, practical way to do it is take your right hand, bring it in front, and just raise it nice and slow. Raise your right hand, and then bring it up to the top of your head. And we do that a couple of times. That's raising a Kundalini. Because the more we raise it, the stronger she gets. And the stronger she gets, the easier it is for her to take us away from our thoughts, our stress, and also easier for her to work on our chakras within us. And now the last one, what we're going to do is place our right hand on top of our head on the fontanelle bone area. This is the 7th chakra, which Sahaja Yoga and through Srimati we were able to access it. And the Kundalini rises through this chakra and flows out. And that is what is called the fontanelle bone. That's what the Greeks called it as well. because the fountain of the Kundalini, the mother within us, rises up and flows out from the top of the head. And that is where we feel the vibrations, which is the love of the divine energy that creates and manages everything around us. Placing our palm on our head a few times, we just rotate it. So starting the movement is from your left, forward, right, back. Left, forward, right, and back. As we rotate our scalp a few times, please ask, Mother Kundalini, please strengthen my self-realization. Mother Kundalini, please strengthen my self-realization. Srimati, please strengthen my self-realization. And bring a hand back down. So this is the process of clearing. It doesn't take too long. And while you're just sitting, it's good to just go into a very short meditation. So the idea is just to not think. So you let the thoughts come and let the thoughts go, and we try and keep our attention on top of our head on the Sahasrara. And where if you have any music for us, that would be really lovely. So pretend to hear your music from the top of your head. And close your eyes if you wish to, or you can watch Srimati's Bindi, hands in our lap, attention on top of our head. And just watch that space without thinking. And let's just slowly open our eyes. And we'll just finish up with raising the Kundalini and place ourselves in Bandhan, and then we can chit-chat about how we felt. So again, left hand in front of us, and the right hand rotates, coming in and out. And your attention is on your left hand as it rises up. Bring it to the top of your head, tip your head up, and we tie a knot. And second time, again, watching your attention on the left hand, bring it up, and we tie 2 knots. And for the third time, bring it up, and it's 3 knots. And then placing our bandhan, which is starting from the left, over to the right and back. And we do that 7 times. Put my glasses on so I can see what I'm doing. And okay, so the meditation doesn't need to be too long, no more than 10 minutes at the most. But the key is not to be thinking all the time. If you're thinking, then you're not meditating. So the idea is to just be blank. And if you do have thoughts come in, and they do constantly, but it does get better eventually. And there gets a time when you can watch the thought come and you're just about alert enough to go, okay, off you go. And that's something you have to train yourself to. And please be patient and kind with yourselves. If there's anyone online who, if you'd wish to like to unmute yourself, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. We still have a few more minutes, and Vara is here as well, and Vipin too.
You mentioned in your stress talk about the sleep, obviously mental individual. What's, in your opinion, is the average? 6.5 hours, 8 hours? As you grow older, it's obviously less and less.
Yeah, I mean, the research keeps coming, different numbers they keep giving. I found that basically when I just wake up when I wake up, and then, you know, during the day, if I feel tired and a little bit, I just sit in my chair and go into meditation for a bit, 5 minutes. I mean, you don't have to, you know, you're at work, you don't do all that. But I tell my colleagues a lot on that when I'm looking like that, usually my hands like, don't come and bug me. So I'm quite open about telling them what I do. I feel you don't have to feel shy about that. Like, you know, people do all silly stuff, and they say, you know, I watched Netflix, binge watched for 2 days in the weekend, I did nothing else. People say that sort of shamelessly. So we're not doing any crime, so I just tell people, everybody in my workplace knows that I meditate. That's what I found works for me, especially now in my life where I've got kids, and you really can't get, you know, 6-7 hours of solid sleep.
Of course.
One day you will.
It doesn't, like, yeah, you don't feel like that. So I sort of, whenever I feel like, basically in meditation terms, we call it being a bit left-sided, where you're nodding off. You should meditate for 5-10 minutes, and you feel all right actually after that. So I don't really have an answer for, like.
There's also a certain trend in the society. At some point it was, you know, a lot of articles in the papers coming on about, oh, you don't need a lot of sleep, you know, and then somebody who's very popular politician or important person would say, oh, I only sleep 4 hours. And then there was a research done on that, and they found that people with limited sleep, and they thought they could run and do their things, but eventually over a period, it started to show, yeah. So how much ever one person needs is very personal.
And, you know, I think it's probably controversial, you know, Winston Churchill slept for 4 hours. Yeah, right, but he made some stupid decisions. Nobody talks about those. Like, you know, he could let whole Bengal go in famine just because he had some other values. So I think the society doesn't talk about it. But, you know, innately you know that, hey, you know, something is not right if this guy is sleeping for 3 hours. But we innately know that, but we keep reading about articles, we fool ourselves. So I think it's best to go with the gut.
And sometimes if you're very much on your right side of your system, which is the yellow line, if you're very much on that, those people tend to be very, what's the word? They're quite on the go, and they often will not sleep a lot because they're quite busy. And that's because they're using up their right side. But that's a temporary thing, because at one point, as Swara mentioned, the gas runs out, and then you have no reserve in the left, and that's when things really...
It's so funny, you know, they sell that as a feature, but it is a defect. It's really, you know, if you're not able to hit, if your head is not able to hit the, is not able to fall asleep after hitting the pillow for hours together, something wrong. But yeah, we ignore, I think, especially in the younger days, we ignore. And it all accumulates, I think. At some point, now, I'm not too much into research, but now they're coming up with all sorts of stuff, you know, sleep less, you're more prone to get schizophrenia, and what is the other thing? Parkinson's. And the funny thing is that what we're doing today, I don't think we've done last 30, 40 years before. We haven't been doing the kind of crazy stuff that we do. Yeah. And I heard this from, not direct source, that somebody, a friend of mine used to work for one of these, you know, the Netflixes and the Disneys and so on. Apparently they have this, you know how they rev up the workforce in a big auditorium, you know, who is our competitor? You know, like everybody says the competitor's name and so on. Say, no. The right answer was the customers sleep. Because we're all busy right now. I go play sport, I do work, I go to drop my kids off school and so on. The only time you can cut in is the customer sleep. And they're pretty shamelessly sort of brainwash their employees.
So if anyone online has a question, please don't be shy. You can either unmute yourself and talk to us or message.
Is Anita Webb? She's been here before?
No, she hasn't.
Okay.
Yes, I'm here. Yes.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Is this your first time here?
No, I think I've been to one before, but I'm a newbie. I don't know a lot about it. I'm learning.
Okay.
How did you go today?
Yes, quite. I mean, I had a bit of monkey mind. I noticed, especially when the music was playing, I found it a little bit difficult. The thoughts were coming, but I was able to overcome that and just breathe through it and focus back on the top of my head. And yeah, I eventually got there.
Yes, good to not get carried away with the thoughts. That's something you'll have to remember, Anita, when you try and meditate. And please do try and do this meditation early in the morning if you can. That's a quiet time, or the last thing before you go to bed, the clearing of the left and the right.
Yes, yeah, that would be very beneficial, I think. Yeah.
So if I may ask, what was your motivation to make time and come to the session, Anita?
Look, I'm on a bit of a learning curve, so I'm keen to learn different styles of meditation. I already meditate twice daily, as you mentioned, first thing in the morning and the night, and that's typically YouTube. And I've tried all different types of meditation. So yes, I'm open to learning and experiences.
Mm-hmm. Where are you joining us from, Anita?
I'm in Ipswich, Queensland.
All right, okay, nice. And how did you find this meditation? Did you feel a little calmness, quietness within yourself?
I certainly do now. I think I'm a lot calmer than what I was when I went into it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to learn more about Kundalini. So this is a good way of trying it and, experiencing it with people that, obviously know a great deal more than I do. I had done Kundalini yoga some years ago and found that very beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well, if you have any questions, I might request Surendra, who's managing our IT, to put out some details. You can contact Lynn, and if you have any questions, she'll be happy to answer. Or Vara might do that.
Yeah, so I guess we what we did is a sort of we're only touching the surface on a session that's lasting an hour. So what it sounds like is that you're interested in knowing the deeper things. So if you could drop an email, if you stay on there, I'll send you a message with our email address. You can email us.
Okay, that'd be great.
All right, for the YouTubers, thank you for coming.
Thank you for joining.
Once again.